the easiest way to answer that question is to look at the ways that people mess up in relationships. What are the things that destroy relationships, and then don't do those things. So what are the things that destroy relationships? One is if you become complacent, right? So if you were this aspirational, high value, ambitious, fun, flirty guy, and then you become too comfortable, you start taking the relationship for granted, and you don't put in the energy to flirt with the other person, and you don't put in the energy to be good in bed, and you don't engage with the person and stay emotionally relevant, that's one really good way to end the relationship. So you have to remember that you need to keep putting in some energy. You can't get completely complacent. You can't get completely lax. And think of it this way. You made a promise to the person when getting in a relationship with them. You acted a certain way that convinced them to be in a relationship with you. If you stop acting that way, you're essentially breaking your social promise to them. So they have every right to not want to be in that relationship or to sour the relationship based on that. So that's one thing. Second thing is to keep your walkaway power. All right, and this is a little bit opposite the other one, but keep your walkaway power. So a lot of people, I mean, it's natural, it's normal as a human being when you have a longer relationship with someone to feel more investment, right? There's a concept in psychology called the sunk cost effect, which is where you kind of are more willing to spend more money to justify previous money spent, right? Whereas you shouldn't do that. What you should do is you should consider every situation based on its exact merits and say, this situation, the facts are this, it doesn't matter what got me here. And so you should be in a relationship evaluating, is the relationship good or bad right now? But most people don't. Most people evaluate, I've been in this relationship for a year, I've put all this time, this energy, this effort in, and if this relationship fails, it'll feel like that year was wasted. Or it'll feel like, maybe, someone when they got to know me deeply really didn't like me, and it's going to really hurt more than if I were to break up with someone after a day or two. So there's this natural inclination to feel a lot more investment in a relationship. And that's actually kind of a good thing and a healthy thing. But as you do that, you still need to retain walkaway power because you need to have standards. You need to have certain kind of lines things you will tolerate and things you won't tolerate. And you need to have certain things that are just too far. Because if you don't have limits, you don't have boundaries, then girls will start stepping over your boundaries. And as soon as they start to realize they can, it's a natural human inclination to do so and to keep doing so. And two things are going to happen. One, if she can push the boundary here, she's going to push the boundary here and here and here and here. And pretty soon you're going to end up way beyond the boundaries, even if it seems like a little deal, like it's a small little thing here and you're okay with it kind of. Once you get over here, you're not going to be. But it's very hard to stop it because there's already this precedent of her pushing your boundaries. And so one, you're going to end up in a relationship that you don't like where you're at and all your boundaries are being trampled on. But secondly, every time if she can sense that you had a boundary and let her trample on it, she's going to lose some respect for you because you're going to look low value, you're going to look needy, you're going to look like you don't have options, you're going to look like you don't have a spine. And so that's going to deteriorate the relationship as well. So not having boundaries deteriorates the relationship on your side because you end up with actions you don't like, deteriorates the relationship on her side because every single time you let your boundaries be trampled on, she'll actually lose respect for you and you'll lose value in her eyes. So that's the second thing that's very, very important. So one is, remember to put in the energy and keep flirting. But on the other hand, remember to keep that walkaway power and keep your boundaries, even in a very long relationship. Now, obviously, it should take a lot more to make you walk away from a relationship that's been good for a year or two than for a relationship that's been good for an hour or two, because there's a much higher probability that's actually a good relationship. But you still need to have some absolute standards. There still need to be lines that absolutely you won't allow crossed, because as soon as there aren't, you're just going to get walked all over.